You ever notice how when people talk about poverty in the Black community, it always turns into a conversation about fatherless homes or broken families? Yeah, that wasn't on accident. That came straight out of a government report in 1965, written by a white man named Daniel Patrick Moynihan, and it changed how this country talked about us forever. Moynihan was working for the Department of Labor when he dropped this report. It was called The Negro Family: The Case for National Action, and it sounded like concern. It sounded like he wanted to help. But what he really did was develop a whole new way to blame us for what America did. He said the reason that Black people were struggling wasn't racism. It wasn't discrimination. It wasn't redlining. It wasn't underfunded schools or stolen wealth. He said it was our families, specifically Black women heading households. He said that Black poverty came from a tangle of pathology, like we were defective, like being poor was a moral issue, not a structural one. And that report made it all the way to Lyndon B. Johnson. It was used to justify cutting welfare programs, underfunding housing, and pushing the idea that if we just fixed the family, we could fix poverty. That's where the whole welfare queen myth came from. That's where Reagan got his talking points. That's where the whole personal responsibility narrative started. The same ones politicians still use to gaslight poor and working class people today. The Moynihan report didn't just get read, it got weaponized. Black leaders tried to stop it. James Baldwin called it out. The Urban League called it out. The NAACP called it out. But the government and the media loved it because it gave them language that sounded intellectual but still managed to blame us for everything. And that's why now, even decades later, you'll hear people, Black and white, repeating his logic without realizing where it came from. The problem in our community is the home. The fathers need to come back. Nah. The problem is a system that broke our homes and then told the world that we were broken. By the 1980s, Reagan used that same framing to justify cutting social programs. By the 90s, Clinton used it to push welfare reform. By the 2000s, it turned into sound bites about family values. So when you hear people talk about single mothers, crime, or welfare, like it's all about choice and not circumstance, that's Moynihan's ghost talking. A white man's report written in 1965 that convinced America that our biggest problem wasn't oppression, it was us. The Moynihan Report wasn't just a study, it was a setup. It rewired how this country talks about race and responsibility. It told America it didn't have to fix the systems, it just needed to fix us. And that's the lies still echoing every time they say the problem in the Black community is the family. Because no, the problem has always been the system.